Good morning, welcome to Morning Expresso. I'm Charulata Biswas. You're watching Indian Express. Let's get you started with the big story of the day. Capturing the transition in the education system in the country against the backdrop of COVID-19, the latest annual Status of Education report reveals that enrollment of children in government schools has leapt from 65.8% to 70.3% over the last year. The trend of more students depending on tuition classes, which came up in the 2020 Aser survey as well, holds, with the share rising from 32.5% to 39.2% as families seek external support due to the prolonged closure of schools, states the report. Here are the stories you'll find only in Indian Express. Following the BJP's defeat in the recent Himachal Pradesh by-elections, Chief Minister Jairam Thakur faced criticism. In an interview with the Indian Express, Thakur admitted that the party, which he felt could have been overconfident, and the government would need to introspect and work hard ahead of the 2022 Assembly election. You can read the entire report on Indian Express. Over the last month, Facebook Inc., which has since rebranded itself as Meta Platforms Inc., has been in the eye of the storm for fielding several allegations, including that the company chose to grow at the cost of its users' safety and its own integrity. In an emailed interview, the company's Vice President of Integrity, Guy Rosen, contradicted the claim and said that platform took steps to keep people safe even if it impacted their bottom line. Here are the top stories from the front page. Almost all the Twitter handles that Tripura police wanted to be blocked 2 weeks ago and against the account owners whom it invoked UAPA have one thing in common. They have been critical of the BJP, its leaders and their ideology. The police did not even spare the lawyers who called for action and a probe into alleged attacks on the minority community. Twitter has taken down 24 profiles and blocked 57 tweets so far. The president extended ED Director Sanjay Kumar Mishra's tenure for 1 more year, just days after the government brought in 2 ordinances to ensure that the directors of the ED and the CBI could have tenures of up to 5 years. The ordinances were speculated to have opened the door for an extension of the incumbent ED Director's tenure, as the CBI Director still has 1.5 years left of his tenure. Pakistan's parliament has passed a bill to provide the right of review and reconsideration in the case of Kulbhushan Jadhav, the former Indian Navy officer who is on death row over spying and terror charges. India, however, is believed to have conveyed to Islamabad that the law has several shortcomings and that steps are needed to implement the ICJ's order in letter and in spirit. Here are the must-reads. How can my son be a militant as I fought against them during peak militancy in the area? Asked Abdul Latif Magre, an assistant lineman in the Jal Shakti department who was given a bravery award in 2012 by the state administration for killing a militant. His son Amir Magre was one of the alleged militants killed in a shootout in Srinagar's Haidarpora earlier this week. Days after the administration in Gurgaon cited objections from local residents and RWAs and withdrew permission for Friday prayers by the Muslim community at 8 of the 37 sites agreed upon earlier, a committee overseeing 5 gurudwaras in this Haryana district bordering Delhi has offered their premises for the namaz. Today, the Sri Jagannath temple in Odisha's Puri stands amidst lines of small shops with the 2-lane road leading to the entrance packed with pilgrims and rickshaws queued up at a checkpost. But this is about to change. With the state government's ambitious 800 crore rupees revamp project, the temple's outer wall, the Meghna Pacheri, covering a peripheral area of 75 meters, will be surrounded by a heritage corridor dotted with trees, flowering plants and seating areas. At the UK parliamentary hearings about the racism scandal that has hit Yorkshire cricket after former player Azim Rafiq recounted his horror days at the club, Roger Hutton, the recently departed chair of Yorkshire board, said he wasn't aware of the Fletcher report from 2014 that had studied British Asians' problems with the club at the grassroots. But Dr. Thomas Fletcher, the man behind the report, says he isn't surprised it had fallen into a black hole. In today's Delhi Confidential, amid intensifying tension within the Kerala Congress, the decision of the new leadership led by PCC President K. Sudhakaran and opposition leader V.D. Satishan to go ahead with a complete revamp of the organization had not gone down well with party veterans Umen Chandi and Ramesh Chenithala. Chandi on Wednesday met Congress President Sonia Gandhi and shared his concerns. In today's episode of the Three Things podcast, we talk about the S-400 missile system. We also talk about the crackdown on non-veg food stalls in Ahmedabad and the latest in the Kulbhushan espionage case. That's a wrap from my end. For more news and updates, subscribe to our channel, Indian Express. Thank you for watching.